Hello, Venus Angels. Welcome back to another episode of Venus Cove, a show about all things astrology, spooky, and the girly things. It's your favorite girl cave, and I am your host, August in Venus. So, after last week, I kind of went on a little rant, right? A little rant tangent last week about finding what's real in today's world. And I kind of wanted to come back with some data about what I discovered. I think I was just really exhausted, putting all my focus on social media and watching a crap ton of brain rot TikToks and reels and shorts, and I needed to touch and look at grass. I needed to look up at the sky while I lay on the grass. You know, I'm a Libra, not an earth sign. Cough, cough, Capricorn. No, I'm kidding. All love, angels, all love. But seriously, yeah, I was just really exhausted, super exhausted. And that's on me, and I needed to take care of myself more, you know? And so, with that being said, I started doing that last week, and I found some beautiful moments this past week that I can only see growing more and more if I keep working out that muscle, you know? And I feel really good again. I feel real again. Like I'm not a robot. This isn't a simulation anymore. I am here. It is Scorpio season, and everyone and everything becomes real. Even Barbie, you know? Like that's the type of vibe I found and I'm going for. The journey I'm about to take you on was something that I didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect to fall into these activities. It was very in the moment, discovered. And maybe that's how you have to go into the real world again. You know, it's not something you necessarily always have to plan, but rather find out as you go without a plan. Without a spreadsheet, without a schedule, without a draft. Ugh, got all those terms. It was just so organic. This is something I appreciate about myself so much. The old me used to go without a plan or a very loosely structured kind of plan, and that's what made me feel alive. That's what made me feel free and like not so in my head about just semantics, you know? That's what just let me live. And honestly, as I'm learning more about myself, especially in singlehood right now, I think I'm realizing that I'm not someone who likes to sit and just like live like a sitting kind of lifestyle, you know? Like I need to move around. I either just was never that type of person or I'm getting adult ADHD. I don't know. Apparently everyone is like talking about that as we get older. I don't know if this is true. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but everyone's kind of self-diagnosing themselves in their adult years. And I personally don't like to self-diagnose myself, being that I'm in the mental health field, and that's just not very productive. That's not very healthy to give yourself a diagnosis, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But today, I want to come on here and share these lovely new activities that have given me life the past week, and maybe I can inspire you to also find something out there and get to know yourself a little bit more. I feel like this is the perfect time in my life to discover new hobbies, and I'm a pretty girly angel, you know. I really enjoy seeing women content. I love seeing women hobbies. I love doing all the girly things. But sometimes, and I hate to say it, like a lot of people don't talk about it, but a lot of women activities and hobbies can be very expensive. Cough, cough, Pilates. And I have not been fortunate enough to try one out because it is very pricey and it's usually always packed. There's usually not like a space for me to do Pilates for like a month in advance. So I haven't done a lot of these things. But I have done some things. And usually when I start, I like doing it at home first and see if I can enjoy it in an actual class, an actual setting. So I'm going to touch up on that too in a little bit. But the first thing that I want to share that I got into this weekend was playing pool or billiards. I know, it's different, it's chill, and it's not heavier than a bowling ball. See, I would have said bowling because I have bowled before, but the truth is bowling tends to hurt my forearm after a while, and it kind of scares me when my forearms get really sore. I don't know why. It just scares me when it hurts, like, terribly bad. So yeah, pool. And it has more substance than dominoes. I mean, no hate to people who really love dominoes. That's like a very respected game in a lot of Latin communities. But dominoes just doesn't do it for me. I also suck at math, so that's probably another reason that I don't want to do math problems while playing a game, you know? Funny how I got into this. One of my best friends loves playing pool. She's so good at it, and she's so confident doing it. I love it. I love to see it. I love to see her in action. And I've never been super into it until this weekend, which is funny too because I wasn't supposed to be there that night. I wasn't supposed to be at a billiards place. I was supposed to be somewhere totally different, but plans got canceled, so I decided to just go and vibe and hang out. And I figured, hey, let me play a couple games of pool. And I didn't win any games, but I sure made my opponents sweat. Regardless, I had so much fun. And everyone was really into it, like paying attention and cheering me on when, like, I managed to get some balls in. The energy just felt so exciting and real and fun, and I was excited and happy to not be staring at my screen all night long. And I got so addicted, I didn't want to leave. I ended up getting home at like 2 a.m. that night. My friend had to tell me, like, it's time to go, you know? Like, that natural dopamine was delicious and filling. It was so filling. I didn't feel empty after. I came home with a full belly of playing pool. I came home daydreaming like a little kid coming back home from an amusement park, from a great night of riding rides all night and winning a stuffed animal or eating some funnel cake. I had a beer and some dumplings, and I had a great time. Overall, 10 out of 10 with my girls. Thank you, universe, and I can't wait to do it again. Number 2, after a great Saturday night, me and my friend decided to watch the new Frankenstein movie together Sunday night. And my God, was it a tear-jerking, emotionally painfully driven, family dynamic type of film. I think the story itself can be seen in so many different ways, depending on who you ask. And it was fucking phenomenal. It was beautiful. It touched at my heartstrings, you know? I had asked one of my friends what they thought about it, and they said that they saw a lot of romance in the film. However, she is a very kind-hearted, loving person. And meanwhile, when I asked another friend about it, they said they saw it as a film about how parents don't accept deformative children. And that friend is on the spectrum. So I think the story itself, I noticed, taps on a lot of different heartstrings and our own personal way of life to how it resonates for all of us. And I tend to lean towards a more philosophical and psychological perspective, and I like to see the bigger picture. So my perspective was more about family dynamics and how history repeats itself from the father-son relationship. And I don't want to spoil it too much, so I won't get into it any further. I might make like another podcast episode about this, like an analysis of the film in another episode, because I've been in a very monster mood this November. And vampires, which is very new for me. I'm usually not super into vampires other than Twilight, because it's so sexual. It's like more sexual than anything else. Sex and death, and it's like nothing new for me, you know? We have sex and we die every day on this planet. So it's not really, you know? But I do appreciate a good, deep, thought-provoking piece of art when I see one. And on the topic of good art, can I just say, Jacob Elordi, the guy who played Frankenstein, has put himself in really great films ever since Euphoria. Like, this man is serious about what films he puts himself in. I feel like he might be the new Johnny Depp of our generation. Like, first Saltburn, then Priscilla, and now Frankenstein, and next year, Wuthering Heights. Like, this guy gives classical. Classy, sexy, serious. He's not in, like, 4 to 5 films a year either. Like, he doesn't spread himself too thin. He chooses like a good 1 or 2 pieces and he focuses on that heavy. Yes, I did some research. There's just hasn't been an actor that has given me a little mystery of seriousness and substance, of like real effort. And it doesn't seem like he spreads himself too thin. Like I said, it seems like he takes care of himself, you know, and he dedicates his focus and time to those 1 or 2 pieces a year. But these are all my assumptions, okay? From a civilian's perspective, okay? So don't sue me. Like, yes, he's gorgeous, obviously, but that's not the point. The point is, as far as I can see right now, he seems like an authentic guy, and I just wanted to give some appreciation. Surely it might not always be the case, but I do respect actors who know what they want rather than putting themselves in just any rando film, and I think this guy is one of those actors that do. But overall, about the movie, it was really beautiful because I've read the book. I read the book and it was hard to get through, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really into classic literature. I kind of suck at reading books, period. So it was a challenge. It was painful, but it was worth it because the message is so deep and I feel like it touches on so many topics of like family dynamics and growing up. If anything, I feel like this was like a monster coming of age type of movie. Like, this is Frankenstein's coming of age movie, while also like how parents kind of behave. I mean, I feel like not a lot of parents like to admit that they weren't very good to their kid, but like if a parent who is working on their self-awareness and like how they were and they know they weren't probably the greatest with their kid, this could probably like touch a heartstring too. Truly phenomenal. I wish they make more movies like this. Don't get me wrong, you know, quick, funny films are nice too, but I feel like there's just way too much of that and not enough like thought-provoking, deep films anymore. Like Hollywood, it's okay. You can get that deep again. Please, we encourage it. In fact, it's probably good for us as a society, as humans. Moving on. Number 3. Now this one is probably gonna come as a shock, but it actually got inspired by the film Frankenstein, and this is where I get my femininity back. I started to get into ballet. Yeah, ballet and classical music, and like while getting into ballet, and like real ballet, not just like wearing the cute ballet clothes. Like, I really started dancing, and I used to do a little bit of ballet when I was younger, very little. Like, I don't know the vocabulary, so don't come for me, but it was a fun moment in my life, and oh my goodness, just moving my body in graceful positions in my living room felt so freeing again, and I felt my bones start like cracking and warming up. Like, wow, it was so fruitful, and I ended up crying about how therapeutic it was. Truly, I thought I was doing a blend of like somatic therapy. I felt like I was swaying and twirling the depression off my body, the anxiety off my muscles. Like, it was delicious. And I feel like many times people tend to forget moving your body is so important for your mental health. And like, yes, walking is and like going to the gym is great too. But I think just like swaying or moving, like doing some Tai Chi or something around kind of helps more, you know? Like, forget about fitness goals for a second, forget about body T, forget about the physical. Just moving and swaying and like, I don't know, doing some Tai Chi or somatic therapy just really helps like inward. You know, like, unpopular opinion maybe, but I really think like shaking and dancing or swaying, like, you don't need to go to a dance class necessarily, but if you could, you know, just get up from like your desk or couch or bed and just sway a little, that really helps. Or skipping and frolicking, like, all for you to just jump and, jump around and shake, literally shake off the bad energy off you, the illnesses, if you will, if you can. Like, yes, we can scream and crash out. That helps too, I bet. I'm actually not sure if crashing out is just screaming, by the way. I don't know. I think screaming or shouting out into nothing is good too. Your voice needs to be put into action. I truly believe that. But I feel like those little movements that don't get enough, like, attention, swaying and, like, shaking or twirling, whatever, like, that really helps the foundation of a person's body and mental health, in my humble opinion. But yeah, ballet is what kind of got me there. Ballet just felt like a softer way of me going feral, you know? Like, it was like the pre-feral. Like, can I be honest? That night I went to play pool. There was some music. There was some reggaeton, grinding music happening there. But I didn't want to grind. I didn't want to twerk. I didn't want to do any of that. So I didn't. Instead, I just started moving my body however I wanted, like a fucking weirdo. And just kind of, like, unpopular opinion too, but like, can we just normalize dancing however you want to whatever genre music is playing? You know, like, we don't have to do exactly what the music kind of makes us, but rather how we feel. That's just my 2 cents. Unless it's like, I don't know, like if you're at a specific party where you have to dance a certain way, like, I guess what I can think of now is like Native American culture, the dancing, or like the waltz. Sure, dance those ways out of respect for the community. But if you're just at a bar and music plays and you want to dance how you want to dance, then just do it. Like, it's not that serious. And Angels, it felt great. And finally, I don't know what number we're at, but this is the final thing that I discovered that brought me life again. I actually haven't had a taste of this in a really long time, and I kind of avoided it for a while, but that's because toxic people in my life didn't make it fun anymore. And it just got very judgmental. But this thing that I so graciously witnessed and got into was deep conversation. Yep, let that one sink in. So, I haven't had a deep convo in a really long time. I made up excuses like, oh, life, school, work takes over, and I just don't want to dive too deep in a conversation anymore. I'd rather just doom scroll or talk about politics or get into astrology or relationship dynamics, battle of the sexes, whatever. But don't make any of these things that deep. By the way, all these subjects can get that deep, but, you know, I'm sure many people know this, but until this week, I went there. and one of my friends went there, and we went down the rabbit hole. And my God, was it full of fruits and feelings of being understood and seen. Oh, it felt like my soul was seen and held again with soft, fluffy arms and hands. And sometimes people can see your soul and don't acknowledge it, or they harm it. So be careful who you do deep conversations with. But this time for me, blessed be, it was held. It was hugged. It was understood. It was greeted. And I didn't know how much I was craving that till it happened. The key thing is to find someone who can go there and be vulnerable with you, who listens and has things to contribute. I need both. I can't just have a listener who doesn't say anything back or, doesn't say anything that gets me to think, or someone who doesn't share back. I love to listen. I love to hear what my friends have to say, and don't hold back. Give me the substance. Give me the depth. Give me the butter and milk, not just watery almond milk, Sorry, but give me the buttermilk. Don't give me fluff either, not that full fat cow milk. There is a difference, and I'll feel it after we're done talking. It's gotta be with someone who can do both, because I can do both, so I expect nothing less from the other person. And once again, it was a delicious time. I quite literally lived life deliciously this past week. And I hope I can continue that. And I hope this episode inspired others to do the same or get some ideas so they can also live life authentically and what aligns with their soul, their bodies, their everything. Because truly, that is the best way to live. That is literally the amazingest way to live. And I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think this was a great first step. This didn't need to go that deep, but it did, because I enjoy going deep. And if you're a deep thinker, comment down below a brain emoji. But that is all I have for you today, angels. If you want to find me, I am here on YouTube and TikTok as August and Venus. Instagram is @mylifewithjohanna. And that's it. My name is Johanna, also go by August here at the Cove, and this is Venus Cove, signing off. Until next time, Venus Angels.